What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? What's up? How you been? Video today was fun. Yeah, the ending today, I'm really happy with today's video. I think we got to redo the thumbnail. I'm going to take a different thumbnail sometime after this stream. We're going to get it up. I feel like the thumbnail wasn't clickable enough. We are hiring. Yeah. Yeah, no, got to put a different thumbnail on it. Sometimes you got to experiment like that. You can feel it too. You can feel it when you're scheduling it and getting ready for it to post. You're like, this is not going to get clicks. And then sometimes you get clicks anyway, and you're like, oh, I was wrong. And then sometimes you're absolutely right. Like, okay, maybe we throw a different thumbnail on there real quick. What are the positions? Right now, the main thing we need, we're looking at kind of in the near future a handful of different positions, but right now the main one we're looking for is a brand manager. Just sometimes called like a community manager, kind of all along the same lines, but basically someone who can handle all the social media so we can really start like the Senpai Gaming, Twitter, do a better job on the Stream Beats Twitter, handle the Discord, all the things that, hold on a sec, this camera. Yeah, we're a little bright. There we go. What's up, Sam? But yeah, mostly someone to handle the social medias. I want to start a Stream Beats TikTok. That's a big one. Post like 3 short videos a day with the music on it. Where can you apply for it? Oh, I really should have had the link. It's we have a let me see if I can find it. Hold up. There we go. I'm going to put it in the I'm going to put it in the description. All right. Apply to work at Senpai. We're using LinkedIn right now. All right. Yeah, so you can see in the description. Yeah, so we're looking for a brand manager, someone who can handle the social media stuff, and just have a more active social media presence. I'm completely taken up by my personal social medias, and I'm even falling behind on that. Part of this is actually going to be to help me with my socials as well. Posted a TikTok last night for the first time in almost a month, and it's doing really well. It has about 50,000 views. That's always fun. Love to see that. Threw it up as a YouTube short this morning. We'll see how it goes. Usually I find YouTube shorts, usually when YouTube shorts take off, it's like 4 days after I post them, which is kind of nice. I think I really like that. Like I like that I'm not tempted to check it and like refresh like I am on almost every other social media, you know? Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, Nathaniel. How you doing? Any word on YouTube adding new stream features soon? They don't tell me anything. They just added I gotta add that. They just added a live trailer, which we really need to film. I don't know. Maybe we'll film that. I think maybe I'll film one with, maybe I'll throw up the, what do you call it? I'll throw up that video, the 100 Thieves announcement video, maybe make that our trailer. Like the 100 Thieves, just that short one that we used on Twitter, because that was a really cool video. So we can use that, but I gotta make a live trailer. Am I cool to tweet about the job? Yeah. You can use the link in the description if you want. Yeah, so we're looking for someone to handle all the social medias, be a brand manager, handle the Senpai Gaming, Twitter, handle the Stream Beats Twitter, handle the Stream Beats TikTok. Just be active on social medias, you know? Help me with my short form content. Make sure I have a short and a TikTok every single day. Things like that. Hiring, is this clickbait? No, we're 100% hiring. We're looking for a brand manager. Someone who can make social media their job. Also, by the way, if you're in here, hit the like button. That'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. We'd prefer someone who is either in Utah or can be in Utah. Someone who can actually help create the content on site. I guess it's not required, but it would be a huge plus. What's up, Cozy? How are you doing? Do you need to have experience? Yes. Yes, we need to see that you can actually do the job. And that's the thing about social media, though. Is sure there are things that can help, right? There you have some kind of experience in marketing or a marketing degree or whatever that does help with something like this, but if you've shown like, hey, look at my Twitter, look at the engagement I get, I know how to handle a brand on social media. I have no degree. I don't care. I don't have a degree. Age requirement? Probably 18. If you're not from the USA, you can't join the job? I don't think so. I don't think I want to add that burden. We're trying to get Sam to move across the ocean right now. It's been a mess. I mean, ideally we'd like someone on site, right? Ideally, we'd like someone who can help create the content, take pictures, take videos, stuff like that would be huge. We are kind of, as we're building Senpai HQ, you know, there are always going to be people that we don't need here. You know, like in the future, I want to hire an animator as well. We're talking about doing that maybe by the end of the year, maybe beginning of 2022. And I don't think we'd need an animator on site because everything is created inside the computer. They don't really need footage as much, you know. But someone who's going to be handling the updates and short videos and stuff, it would be good to have them here. Someone who's helping me with my shorts and TikToks, it would be helpful. How old is Scott? Scott's 19. Can you just move Senpai HQ to the UK? I'd like to have multiple HQs. Like Utah, I just want Utah to be, in fact, I don't even want like the end goal of Senpai HQ to be here. We'll always have some semblance of an HQ here. Like we're building the recording studio down here and stuff. But like ideally the goal would be to start here, get a ton of stuff done here, and then expand. Like I would love to have content HQs in places near other content creators. I don't know if I'll ever go to LA just because it's just stupid expensive. And if I wasn't living there, it just doesn't seem like it's worth the money, but I'd like to have one in Vegas. I think I'd like to have one in Texas. Start expanding out to different countries. Vegas is close. I could drive to Vegas. I can drive to Vegas in about 5 hours. Is Alpha Gaming going to become Senpai Gaming soon? Yeah. Australian headquarters? Ever give XSplit a try? I have messed around with it a little bit. It's good software. I just have a hard time understanding why you'd pay for software when OBS is free and it's awesome. By the way, I have 2 super chats that I missed. Do you find that scheduling YouTube live streams reaches more people versus spontaneously creating a new YouTube live stream on the spot? I've never, I always go off my own personal experience. I feel like my strength is not being I feel like I'm not particularly good at almost anything I do. If I can open up with you guys, be a little vulnerable with you guys. I've never felt like I was the best at anything I've done. but I feel like I'm good. I'm better than most people at a lot of things. And one of those things is I feel like I'm good at understanding consumer behavior and relating to people, recognizing like a point of view more than just my own. And stuff like that helps a lot with content creation because you understand how a user perceives a video. Like as someone who understands videography and editing and a video process very well, as we're editing these videos and putting them together, I can say, no. I know we all understand what just happened on here. We all understand that B-roll shot. Nobody else is going to understand that. We need to make that more understandable for the lowest common denominator, things like that. So when I go through my YouTube subscription feed, I'm often looking at like, which one of these would I click on? Which one of these would an average person click on? If I didn't know what I knew, would I click on this video? Kind of thing, and that helps a lot. And when I see like, hey, live stream going tomorrow, I just don't care. If it's scheduled for any time other than the length of the period I planned on being on social media, I don't care. It has to be, like if I'm going to schedule a live stream, or if I'm going to see a scheduled live stream and I'm going to be interested in it, I have to know that I'm still going to be on my computer when that goes live. Unless it sounds like the most interesting live stream in the world. I don't care. It has to be within 30 minutes for me, which is why I schedule all my streams about 30 minutes in advance. Is that a learned skill? Yes. I think the skill is mostly self-awareness. Recognizing what makes you different than other people, recognizing your own, being able to see yourself from the POV of someone else. Because if you can see yourself from the POV of someone else, you are able to see other people's POV. You can learn self-awareness. It's very hard to learn. Because the problem is people who aren't self-aware don't know that they're not self-aware. So if you can start to assume that you're not self-aware, that's a good start. You can start to assume that you really lack self-awareness. That's your first step. I know so many people who just vastly lack self-awareness and will say, I'm just very good. I have a lot of self-awareness. But you don't. You're clueless. At that one thing. But I mean, there's a chance that I'm bad at it too. I had a whole conversation with Kenzie about that. Like, what if I am also vastly lacking self-awareness and I have no idea? I wouldn't know. I'd recommend reading a lot of books on evaluating yourself. That helps a lot. Gigabytes. Yeah. I'll keep talking about it. I was just answering a question. But I'll keep getting into the hiring stuff. We are hiring someone. We're looking for a brand manager. Someone who can handle the social medias of the Senpai Gaming Twitter. Someone who can handle the Streambeats Twitter, Instagram accounts, my personal Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Help build the small form social media content as well as create the small content around the big content, Big pile of Wesley. Hey Harris, how do you successfully separate YouTube social media from family to keep a healthy family balance? I'm struggling with this. I will have to give you an update on that when I have more of a family come November. I guess come this weekend. We got a puppy coming this Saturday. I'm so pumped. And then a baby coming in November. So I will learn a lot about it then, I'm sure. But I have a very busy job. Like I finished working at like 2 a.m. last night. And today, my day started at 10 a.m. And I will be probably working until at least midnight tonight, like non-stop. I have to end the stream on time because I have 2 meetings before another scheduled work. Like literally, Ryan and I have to do work on Streambeats that's going to take us hours and hours and hours. Why is the studio still incomplete? Because the people who are designing it and building it are struggling. Building right now is a struggle. But yeah, no, we're waiting on, I shouldn't say the people who are building it because they're actually doing their job. It's the people who are designing it and getting the parts in and stuff have just dropped the ball over and over and over again. Why don't you stream on Alpha Gaming? Because I stream here. Is there a reason for streaming on your personal channel? Yes, I want to build a personal brand. I don't want my entire identity to be streaming tips. That is like one thing that I do, and I'm only okay at it. I compared to other people on Twitch, I'm very good. But that's a very low bar. And that bar has been raising. People are getting better at it. Streaming tips is not my passion. Business building is my passion. Content creation and creativity is my passion. And so it was important to me that, one, the Alpha Gaming was not the Harris Heller channel, and that my personal identity wasn't streaming, you know? I just like trying new things. I want to build a personal brand. We're working on a video tomorrow. I've talked about it a handful of times. I want to get it up later this week, but I took a Japanese lesson every single day for an entire month, and I really want to finish that video. I'm really pumped about it. You need mechanical engineers for Senpai? No, not now. Did people think you were spoiled because you were a senator's son? I didn't grow up. My dad didn't become a senator until I was in college. But yes, people constantly invalidate everything I've done because of that, as if it's had literally any bearing on my life at all. There was an article, a political hit piece article on my family that went live during an election, which, by the way, if you are trusting any article, doesn't matter which political side you're on, if you're trusting any article that was written during an election, you're dumb. Can we just make that clear? Can we get that out of the way? If you're looking at a news article, which every single news outlet has a bias, if you're trusting an article that was written during an election, you're not a very smart person. But yeah, no, after I've talked about it a bunch. It's so funny. Anytime someone brings it up, they're like, you have to be transparent about this. Like, I've talked about this 100 times. I've talked about it in YouTube videos. But yeah, no, after our music career on social media struggled and stopped making money, I needed to support my family. And so I worked for a third-party company. I was an independent contractor for a company called November Inc., which was a company that ran campaigns. And I was assigned to my dad's campaign for 2 years. For obvious reasons. I could get content that nobody else could. I knew him better than anyone else did. And they saw my stuff that I'd done and they wanted me to work on it. And I got paid $2,500 a month for a buttload of work for 2 years, which didn't even cover our rent. Like literally our rent in LA, we lived in LA. I ran a business out of LA. Our rent was like $2,600 for a little 2-bedroom place where I had to work out of. And, but I get people all the time because the title of the article is Senator Dean Heller pays his son $50,000 to make social media content. Because he did. Well, technically he didn't. November Inc. did. But like, yeah, over the course of 2 years, that is not a lot to cover 2 people's expenses in LA. So anyway, there's always someone always brings that up. After the 100 Thieves thing and we posted the video about where we came from and where we are now, someone posted and did this whole thread on his career was given to him. His father paid for stream beats. Like, no, 100% of that went into rent. And then I still had to get another job on top of it. So anyway, I don't want to get too into that, but I keep being told I have to be transparent, which apparently means I need to talk about my previous jobs every single stream. But anyway, so there's that. Yeah, people always try to discredit you. There are 2 kinds of people. When people see someone who've accomplished something, and I'm not saying I'm the most accomplished person in the world. I am very proud of myself for what I've done. But when people see others who accomplish things, it's taken one of 2 directions. One, it inspires people and it says, oh, look at what this person's done. I bet I could do that too. Or lazy people who see what other people have accomplished and say, they only did that because they were given this. I'm actually better than that person, but I haven't accomplished it because this person was given that and I wasn't. And it's just people who feel bad about themselves and don't want to admit that they're not working as hard. Didn't even know your father's a senator? Yeah, I don't really talk about it. He's not, by the way. He hasn't been a senator for 2 years? Has it only been 2 years? 2.5 years? He lost the election before this channel ever took off. They've never coincided. The only channel that can make me turn off Dr. Disrespect, that's a very high praise. Thank you. What does senpai literally mean? Senpai is like a word for mentor. Someone like your elder, someone you look up to, someone you respect. But mostly it's the meme of notice me senpai. That's why I used it. When I uploaded the very first Stream Beats album, it said, what's your record label? And then it said in parentheses, if you don't have one, just make one up. And so the first thing that came to my head was Senpai Records. Technically it was Senpai Music Group at the time, but Senpai. And I was like, oh, whatever. And I didn't even think it would mean anything. Typed that in, and then a couple months later, I was like, we're gonna actually make a record label. We're gonna do this. And I incorporated Senpai Records. It's an actual business now, and it does very well. Teacher, I wouldn't say teacher. Sensei is teacher. But senpai is still someone who, your elder, right? Someone who you look up to, someone who mentors you. Let me catch up on all these. We got a lot of, thank you guys all for the super chats today. We got a lot of them. Let me catch up on these. iDarkcraft, tagline for Stream Beats, music for creators, for the creators, or music by the creators for the creators. What do you think of those? I think they're a little bit generic. I don't think it really describes anything. It doesn't really make you want to click on it. It doesn't stick in your mind, It's a good start, though. Thank you. Bragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, want to get a laptop for YouTube editing. My budget is $1,000. Getting the MacBook with an M1 chip, a bad idea. Oh no, if you want to get into YouTube editing, getting an M1 MacBook is an awesome choice. We use Mac Minis. I actually use the cheap 8 gig Mac Mini. I wish I'd gone with 16 gigs. The 8 gig is killing me every once in a while. But yeah, we use Mac Minis for everything. Ryan uses the Mac Mini for all his producing. Scott uses the Mac Mini for all his editing. Once they release like the M1X or whatever the higher end model comes out as, like the Mac Pro and the 16-inch MacBook Pro and the more powerful version of it, we're moving over to those. But right now we just use the M1 Mac Minis and they are crushing it. They're amazing. Rufus, got monetized right before returning to work 5 days a week. How do I balance after being a full-time YouTuber for a year? As someone who did that for a long time, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It's just being very aware of the time you have, trying to find ways to be... Like, there are always ways to be more efficient with your time in creating your content, whether that's slightly changing the style of content to something that's easier to edit, changing up your editing style, whatever it is. But it's a grind. I worked during this 2 years when I was working on my dad's campaign. I was working on the campaign all day and then editing videos all night and applying for another job when the campaign ended, because campaigns end after the election. And it was a very hard couple years. It's a really rough couple years. But good luck with that, man. Saeed DiCaprio, I don't have any professional experience, but I do pull around 70 to 100 million monthly impressions on Twitter. Should I apply? Absolutely, everybody should apply. Everybody who wants to be a part of it should apply. Any tips for quick editing? Yeah, talk to Sam about that. Sam is a master quick editor. Like, one of the things he does is during the initial edit, he ups the speed to 2 times so we can just go through and cut out the crap, and he can edit 40 minutes or an hour. He can edit like an hour of footage in like 40 minutes. It's mind-blowing. That's huge. Being able to edit more footage in, like, it's just crazy. Once you get used to looking at footage, you can speed things up quite a bit. Is 200 subs in 1 month good for the first month ever on my channel? Yes. Honestly, that question though, I wouldn't worry about too much. Don't worry about how many subs you get for the first month on your channel. Your first year or so, depending on how much history you have in content creation, your first year or so is not about growth. Your first year should be about personal growth and about learning and understanding how to make content that's fun to watch. Not about, am I getting enough subs? Because you get caught up in that numbers game too early, you end up cutting corners. Just enjoy it. Spend a little bit of extra time on your videos. Start exploring different styles and figuring out who you are, so when you're ready to be consistent, the people are ready to watch. The Mike Wing, thank you for the super chat, says, would someone who lived outside of Utah have a good chance of getting hired if they have a degree in the field with experience and willing to travel to Utah with until wife starts a travel nurse? Yes. Yes, absolutely apply. If you fit the bill, please apply. I deleted social media 5 years ago. Haven't looked at it since, but I'll take the job. When should I start? Thanks for all you do. Stream Beats is fab. Dude, I want to delete. We talked about it last stream. I want to delete Twitter and Instagram and TikTok off my phone. I do not want to, I hate the fact that I'm sitting here and I need to edit this, but my phone's sitting next to me. Let me just check Twitter real quick. It kills me how addicted I am to social media. Because I convince myself, oh, it's okay. It's justified. It's my job. Not the way I use it. Not the way I use it. I spend hours. How many hours a day do I spend on Twitter? Can I see this? You guys can I be vulnerable with you guys for a moment? You guys want to see? Let's see. Can I see this? See all activity. Where do I see it? Where do I see how much? Show categories maybe? Oh, day, week. Here we go. For the previous week, have I really only spent, it's still a long time, 2 hours on Twitter? That can't be right. The first app I use after picking it up is usually Twitter. I'm trying to see, I've never looked at this screen time app before. Hey, my screen time is down 8% from last week. That's nice. Average time looking at my phone is 5.5 hours a day. Could you imagine? Wait, how do I go to last week? I'm gonna have to look at it again at the end of the week. Could you imagine if I just stopped using social media? It says social on average is 6 hours. Is that 6 hours a day? There's no way. Is that 6 hours a day? Could you imagine what I could do with my time? Yeah, I need to delete it. When you're hiring for Senpai Tech, we're not going to be hiring directly. We're not going to be hiring our own team for Senpai Tech until we get a couple projects done. We've got 2 main projects in the pipeline right now that I want to hire developer groups for, third-party developers for, and get those off the ground, get some revenue going, understand what it's like. I've never developed a software solution before. Get those going before I take the dip and hire full-time developers when I don't know how to manage it, when I don't know what they're going to be doing, when I don't know what I need yet. So we're going to get a couple projects under our belt, see where we're at, see if we need to actually hire developers full-time, or if hiring out local developers actually works really well. It's worth figuring that out first. The Reluctant Mallet deleted. Oh, I read that one. Cataract. Just want to say, your guy was in a bad headspace with family issues. Your content kept my mind from going crazy and being productive. Mahalo. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, Adam Anderson. Welcome to the moon, man. That is our highest tier membership. Thank you. you need a consultant, let me know. I appreciate it, Quentin. I'd say hire a manager before hiring developers. Yeah, for sure. I think I'll probably have a manager. I think Lemonade will end up being the social media manager if we end up actually hiring in-house developers. So I've got very talented people. It's just a matter of making sure I'm not overexerting myself and hiring people that we can't afford and don't really need. The last thing I'd want is a developer who just like sits around and is like, hey, what do you want me to do today? I'm like, I don't know. Just make sure nothing's broken, I guess, for the next couple months until we come up with the next idea. So we'll see. Do you dye your hair? So I dye my beard dark, my beard and my eyebrows, and then the sides, I dye those darker. This is my natural color. Kind of where my job as a developer is right now. Feel free to pick the brain from someone who's banned from Google's London office. Why'd you move back to Provo and abandon the land of the true Nevada? I haven't lived in Nevada since 2006 when I graduated high school. Moved to Utah, went to school here. Then we moved to LA for a year, then moved back. I've pretty much been in Utah since. Just want to say thanks for Stream Beats, pretty much my channel soundtrack for all my vlogs. Thank you, man. Gave you a shout out on my blog. Appreciate it. Shout out for Harris. Shout out to Harris for being handsome as hell. Thank you, man. You graduated when I was a year old. I don't want to talk about it, man. You're also a child, so it makes sense. But yeah, so for those of you who have jumped in and are wondering, we are hiring. The link to the LinkedIn page. If you're looking to apply as a brand manager, we are going to require some kind of experience. We need to hire someone who knows what they're doing. Being a brand manager requires a very important set of skills. But yeah, someone who can handle all the social medias, someone who can create content, short form content like Stream Beats, TikToks, help me with my personal stuff, not only Instagram, but also short videos for YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels, handle the Stream Beats and Senpai Gaming Twitter, all that kind of stuff. What kind of development are you looking to get projects in? Both of the projects we're working on right now are web projects, web development. But pretty high end stuff. One of them is going to require some AI and video editing development and stuff. We got some. Should I make a command? Sure, Sam. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Do you consider shaving? Yeah, I'll be shaving pretty soon. It's getting a little bit unmanageable. Can you make a video on talking to yourself without viewers? I would recommend, the first thing I would recommend is stream a little bit less and focus more on your content. If you're just going live to no viewers, you're wasting your time. I mean, you don't want to never stream if you're trying to be a streamer. Obviously, that's not the goal. But if you're trying to be a streamer and all you're doing is streaming to 0 people, it's never going to happen. You need to be making YouTube videos. You need to be making shorts. You need to be making TikToks. You need to be making Twitter videos, all the things that are going to actually reach people and bring people to your stream. That needs to be a top priority. Don't forget to get sponsored by Manscaped when you shave. Yeah, or, oh yeah, that's the big one, Manscaped. I don't know if they'd want to sponsor me since I got most of the hair on my body lasered off. That was the best thing I'd ever done until I got LASIK a week and a half ago. LASIK has been the most incredible thing. Did you guys see the short or the TikTok? TikTok went up last night. Oops. I can't look it up because I'm using music on my phone. Does Instagram have the power to convert viewers to Twitch? There's not a ton. Different platforms have different amounts of crossover. I don't see a ton of Instagram crossover with Twitch. I see the biggest crossover being Twitter and YouTube. Those are the two main ones that I see, which is why I spend most of my time there. I've seen TikTok do a little bit, but in general, TikTok has very little crossover to any platform. You can get 1 million followers on TikTok and still have less than 1,000 followers on Twitter. It just doesn't matter that much. I'd say the biggest crossover with TikTok is Instagram. And even then, it's not great. But if Instagram is your goal, starting a TikTok is huge, especially since you can just reuse the content. You can throw the exact same video on Instagram Reels as you throw on TikTok, so there's no reason not to. Thoughts on VTubers and their huge rise in popularity, especially this year? I think it's great. I think another creative outlet is awesome. I think there are some really creative ones that do really well. I also think, just like anything else, there are a bunch of people who see VTubing as like, hey, I can stream without showing my face. And if that's the whole reason you're VTubing is because you don't want to show your face, I really think you're in it for the wrong reasons. The people who succeed at VTubing are either incredibly creative and could be good streamers showing their face, or are just super, like, just incredibly engaging people. Like, people who do it, who are VTubers not because they just don't want to show their face, but because they see the opportunities to be creative, are the people who succeed at VTubing. And there's, of course, just like everything else, there's a bunch of people who get lucky, who are like, I don't want to show my face, and then they blow up because they've got the right personality for it. But that's pretty rare, and you can't ever rely on that. You don't ever want to assume that you're that person. I got a mosquito bite on my arm, and it's driving me insane. I just had a LASIK short. Very happy with my glasses. Thank you very much. You do you, man. It's so funny. I got a lot of comments on that TikTok that are like, because I mentioned I'm sick of glasses fog, and they're like, you know, there's something called contacts, or you could just not wear a mask. And I just want to, I mean, it's such a weird thing to say. Like, I've worn contacts since 8th grade. Actually, I think since 6th grade. I don't remember when I got contacts, but it was pretty young. Been wearing them for like 2/3 of my life. And recently they've just started getting really dry. My eyes have just gotten a lot drier, and my contacts dry out, and they get blurrier than when I'm not wearing contacts. Half the time I'm wearing contacts, my eyes are blurrier. Oh, hey. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's why I ended up switching to glasses, because half the time I was wearing my contacts, they were blurrier than when I wasn't wearing contacts, and my eyes were just hurting. And about not wearing a mask thing, that's killed about 4 million people, so, you know, not about that life. Uber Eats stepped up? Oh, yeah. Also, if you're getting glasses fog, get a better mask. Dude, my mask is dope. And it doesn't matter. I have LASIK now. I've wanted LASIK for a long time. It was mind-blowing how simple the process was. I went in for 2 meetings. I could have had, for my first meeting to get LASIK could have been 1 week. But I couldn't go to that appointment. They didn't have another one for a month and a half later. But like, went in. They tested my eyes. The first meeting was about 2 hours. They did a bunch of tests on my eyes to make sure I was a good candidate. And then I left. And then a month and a half later, I went in, did that 5-minute surgery. I was still probably there for about an hour because, again, they did some tests beforehand. I had to wait in the lobby for a little bit. And they had like a briefing kind of thing, making sure I knew all the instructions and I was ready to go. But like literally total 3 hours, maybe 4 hours entirely. And I could see. It's mind-blowing. Best thing I've ever done. Senpai hasn't been noticing me. What's up, useless J03? I'm making Rocket League. Crimson Dragon says, I'm making Rocket League coaching a coaching channel, but my coaching methods and routines apply to almost every competitive game. Should I branch out as I grow? If you are good enough, sure. Also, maybe you should make coaching tips that are specific to, like maybe your tips are too broad if that's the case. That might be a bad thing. But yeah, I would give it a try if you're qualified. I'm always wary of telling people to like do teaching content because most people aren't as qualified as they think they are. But if you are, go for it, man. Thinking of starting a YouTube. Should I start posting short videos or normal length videos? Both. Do whichever one you can manage first. That's a creative decision. Both of them work. Depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you're good at. Depends on what you have the time for. It's not something I can answer for you. Don't ask me to hold your hand through the whole process, people. You're going to have to make some decisions for yourself. I grew a Roblox channel to 10,000 subs. Now it's losing subs because of old and not great videos. People click and unsub. Should I start a new channel? No, just fix that channel. You'll lose subs in the beginning. That's the thing. People get so concerned with that sub number that they don't recognize that they're still actually growing. And there is still an audience there that enjoys it. They want to start from zero because you can't get any lower than zero. But here's the deal. If you're on a 10,000 sub channel, you're going to get some views. You're going to post videos. People are going to watch it. Some people are going to enjoy it. You might get 1,000 people who enjoy it and maybe 10 new subs a day, but you're losing 20 subs a day, right? Which feels like it's just a net negative 10. You're losing 10 subs a day versus if you start over, all you're doing is growing. And so it feels better because you're watching the number go up. Maybe you start a brand new channel and you get 500 views a day and you grow 2 to 5 new subscribers a day. But on the other one, even though you're losing 10 subs a day, you're actually getting 10 new subs a day, which is better growth. The old people who are subscribing, if you just start brand fresh, you don't have those people anyway. Those people can't unsubscribe. You are getting more subscribers. You are getting more engagement. You are getting more views. You just have to get over the fact that the numbers are going down. You're still getting new subscribers in there. No reason to start over just because it doesn't feel good. Like this channel, I've used this channel for so many different things. I used to do daily vlogs on this channel. I used to do music stuff on this channel. I just privated all the old videos and started again. And you lose some people here and there. You do. You're going to lose some people here and there. It's not a big deal. What are we hiring for? We're hiring, you can see there's a link in the description. We're hiring for a brand manager, someone to handle social medias, someone to handle creating small content for Senpai Gaming, Stream Beats, my personal stuff. Will you make those videos unlisted? I have no plans on making those unlisted. Maybe sometime on stream when I get my PC done, which should be done this week. You can see it back here. It's getting there. It's almost done. I got to wait for a couple more fittings to get in this week. Are there any good brand managers to follow? 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves social media is great. Elgato does a good job. Steggy does a good job at Elgato. Discord. Discord crushes it. Discord is this app that lets you chat and voice chat. It should have zero social media following. It's just a tool we use. But somehow, it has one of the greatest social medias on the planet. I'm an anime voice actor. Haikyuu, Attack on Titan, Food Wars. Hold on. Who did you play in all those? I've watched those first two. I'm completely caught up on Haikyuu and Attack on Titan. Who did you play? I didn't watch them dubbed. I'm sure you're in the English dub. But I still have to know. I watched the first episode of Food Wars one day when Kenzie was out of the house. And I have a rule of, if it's a show that I wouldn't want to be watching when Kenzie walks in the room, I can't watch it. And so I only watched the first episode. I was like, this is hysterical, but I can't keep watching this. Oh my gosh. You're Hinata? You're like the lead? So you're like a big deal. And Falco? Can you get me into voice acting? I've always wanted to do it. I have no idea how to even start. That's one of the reasons I want to, one of the reasons I wanted to learn to speak Japanese was so I could be in a subbed anime, like in the Japanese anime. I would love to voice act in a Japanese anime. And obviously all, anime is Japanese, but I mean like the Japanese version, like subtitled version of an anime. One day I'll get good enough to do that. At least get good enough to play like the American who has a thick accent and speaks Japanese poorly. Maybe I can be that guy. I don't know. One day. Got to put a reel together and just start reaching out to studios. I don't know anything about how to get into the sub shows. Dang it. Let me know if there's a new character coming out in the next season of Haikyuu. I'll audition for that. You got to put in a good word for me, though. Did you watch One Piece? I didn't. I couldn't get into it. I think I watched like 30 episodes or something, and I just struggled. Dude, Aaron Hoyer. Welcome to the True Senpai. Thank you, man. Will you restart your music career? I mean, I started a record label. I played guitar on the Stream Beats Originals album. I don't plan on being like a music YouTuber, but I'll probably do some like I did a singing short. I like doing it every once in a while. What's up, Ryan? Can I have a job? I don't know. We already have 2 Ryans that I work with right now. I don't know if I want a third. Aren't you in like Florida right now? Maybe one day. You can only have so many Ryans. Russian vlog and reaction channel here. Bon appetit. Thank you for the info you share with us. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on reposting content? So if you have Insta, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, is it appropriate to have the same content on more than one? Yes, there are situations where that's totally fine. In fact, just this morning, I posted both the same video to YouTube Shorts as I did to TikTok. And I would post it to Instagram Reels if I was doing a better job of posting pictures there. I want to make sure I'm using Instagram for what it's for. And posting, I know they're jumping more heavily into video, but I want to make sure, I feel like that's not the full picture with Instagram. One of the reasons we're hiring a brand manager, someone to help me take pictures or videos that will go well on the main Instagram feed. And then I'll start also reposting these to Instagram Reels. I feel like each platform, you do need to have a little bit of uniqueness to it. You have to understand what the audience is there for. And you have to cater to that. But there's a ton of overlap. Like a lot of overlap. TikTok seems to have the most overlap with everything in terms of content. You can take full YouTube videos and just try to fill them out to the screen as much as possible and just throw them up there and they do really well. Doesn't matter. But with YouTube, you know, I post my shorts there, but I also stream there. I'm also making full-length videos there. You have to understand what your audience really wants to see and what captures an engaged audience. What to do when my channel died out? Start over? Do you know how many channels I've had that have died out? I need a job, Harris. My name is John, not Ryan, so that should be a plus. That is a plus. I was kidding. Congrats on everything. Love the videos and music. Oh, man. Ryan, if you lived here, we'd make some projects together. That'd be a lot of fun. What kind of marketing person would you want to be working for? Would you want to be working for you if one were interested? Honestly, we need a JHB. I want a JHB so bad. Someone who just understands the memes and can bring life to the role. I don't want it to feel like Senpai Gaming is tweeting. I want people to know who is running the account, you know? Like, obviously there always needs to be update tweets like, hey, we posted a new video, or merch is live, or working on this really cool new project, or check out this thing we did at the studio. But like, I want someone to take it and like bring it to life. I want people to know that, oh, hey, John tweeted from the account again, kind of thing, you know? What's a GHB? JHB. JHB was the intern who I think just got hired full time at 100 Thieves and lost 100 Thieves their Twitter verification, which was brilliant. That's just brilliant. The whole culture around JHB at 100 Thieves is incredible. Like, everybody knew. Anybody who had 2 brain cells knew that 100 Thieves was going to get their Twitter verification back in 1 or 2 days tops. But the fact that they lost, like an intern was tweeting cringy stuff and did something stupid to lose them their Twitter verification badge, just exploded. Like, that's what was the icing on the cake there. It was just brilliant. They were trending on Twitter because of it. Yeah, like for like 2 days straight, they were trending on Twitter. You need the social media person to take it, make the account its own personality. I think you mistyped there, but I understand it. While preserving the brand. Exactly. So a real big one is going to be the personality of the person. 2 things. Yeah, the personality of the person who can really make it their own and understand social interaction. The other thing is someone who is proactive. As someone who has to, like, I've just learned that as awesome as your employees are, the more employees you have, the more you have to think about and worry about and make sure everybody's on track and make sure things are getting done right and make sure we're on schedule. Like, there's a lot to keep track of. And so having someone who knows their role and is proactive and just, I don't have to worry about it, just gets everything done. That's the main thing I'm looking for. Do you know Adachi? I don't. Do you know where the like button is though? Who hasn't hit the like button yet? I have to remind you guys like a couple times a stream just to make sure we get enough likes on these, because it actually does help out a lot. It does. It gets it pushed through the algorithm, and more people see it, more people click on it, because there is actual discoverability on YouTube. So thank you guys for the like button. Have you thought about going on TBH with JHB or tried to get an invite? We were in some of their videos. I haven't asked about that. I don't want to be that guy. But I would love to go on that show. What's the dream with starting a record company, a record label? I don't know if I'm ready to share the master plan yet, but I do know I'd like to sign artists. Artists who have a focus on content creation. The goal is to completely disrupt the industry. Right now, there's an advantage to a record label, and that advantage is connections and money, right? But because in general record labels don't have their own brand, right? Record labels, like, I'm getting a phone call. I gotta call him back in a couple minutes. It's like, let me actually text him. Shoot, I meant to say 10. The problem with the business model is record labels don't make their own money. Record labels make money by shelling out a ton of money to get songs famous and then taking all the money from those songs, right? That's the only way they can make money, is by taking the artist's money. What was it? Was it 30 Seconds to Mars went like platinum and didn't see a dime? It's ridiculous. So the goal would be to create a record label that has its own brand and makes its own content and does its own stuff outside of what the artists do, that bring in its own income, so that you don't have to take anything from the artists. The artists help build up the brand of Senpai Records so that we can do sponsorships and we can make our own content that we can monetize and things like that. So when we have these signed artists and they go out and they release their stuff, we can fund their albums, we can fund their music videos, we can push their stuff to different outlets, and then they get to keep 100% of the profits. That's the goal. As someone who's never been in the, it's a very optimistic way of thinking, and I like to think optimistically. And there's a chance that I'll get in there like, okay, turns out in order to even function, we need to take 20%. Still, that's a massive improvement over anyone else. But like, the point I'm trying to say is that's the goal, is to build a brand strong enough that we can monetize ourselves so we can perform all the same functions of a record label without taking anything from the artists. That's the goal. And in the process, destroy Warner Brothers. I'm not joking. What negative personality traits do you have you dealt with, and how do you overcome them? Negative personality traits. Negative personality traits. I appreciate your bluntness. Negative personality traits are obviously a subjective thing. It depends on your industry. Something that can be positive in one situation can be negative for this job. And so for anyone who's saying like, it's not negative, like for what I'm trying to do, sometimes it is negative. I'm a huge introvert. I don't like being around people. I like being by myself. And I struggled on camera for a very long time. I had a really hard time pointing a camera at myself. Didn't understand how to interact with it and exactly what kind of person I wanted to be in front of the camera. I spent a lot of time trying to be other people, which I think was the right way to do it. When you don't have a personality in front of the camera, you pick and choose the pieces from your favorite personalities. When you have Asperger's, your personality is more like everyone knows the person who is just confident and funny and was born that way. When you have Asperger's, it's not like your personality is nothing. It's just often a blank slate, and you have to decide what your personality is, and you have to manually program it yourself, which means lots of times it doesn't feel genuine, lots of times it doesn't look genuine, and it takes a long time to get there. And so when I started making stuff in front of the camera for a long time, it was really awkward. And I would watch my favorite YouTubers and I would make mental notes of my favorite, like why I enjoyed watching them. What did they do? What parts of their personality attracted me, right? And I started emulating those until over time, the mixture of all my favorite ones and trial and error, as well as adding in my own little ideas, you kind of develop develop that persona that feels like you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It took a long time to do that. So that was probably the big one. I think the other one is I get easily distracted by passion projects. I'll be in the middle of something and I'll go, I wonder if I could do this. I wonder if this is possible. I have a new idea. Let's start a business. And that can be very distracting and overwhelming. And it's caused a lot of stress on me because I've started like 7 businesses. How many? I think I have 7 right now. Started like 7 businesses and I don't have the capacity to run even like 2 of them, which is fine. Only 2 of them are really like profitable and really doing anything. But that's been a huge learning experience for me. And a lot of it is just staying humble and making sure I'm taking advice from as many people as I can, reading as many books as I can, learning as much as I can, and recognizing how to overcome that and build businesses properly. And so it's just being willing to learn all the time. That's the biggest thing. Introversion is negative in a social space, but hugely positive during quarantine. Yeah. If you made a list of people you trust, would you put your own name down? Yes, of course. All right, let's get these last questions answered here. Let's see. Where are we at? Lightning Lad said, "Thank you so much for creating music daily. Every song is a banger. You've helped my stream not be more boring. Thank you so much, man. Keep dropping." Oh, we've got like 4 drops that I'm pumped about coming. Don't you worry, child. Sorcerer Finch, welcome to the True Senpais. Thank you. Welcome back. Without giving too much away, this is Straxon. You're going to be looking for established brands artists or willing and wanting to help artists achieve the status. There's always going to be a balance there. We will need to sign, probably first we'll need to sign some big creators. That'll probably be the first thing we need to do is make sure we've got brand awareness. But yeah, down the line when we've got some more flexibility, if I find someone that I think has serious potential, that I think just needs a little bit of a boost, I'm more than willing to do that. I'm not willing to take on a charity case. Absolutely not. You get a lot of people who are like, you're not willing to help the little guy. No, I'm not willing. I'm not willing to help someone who's not willing to help themselves. That will always stand. Someone who's not willing to do the work, that's not my job. It's not my job to make your career for you. I'm not saying this is what you're asking, by the way. I'm just pointing this out because you get stuff like this a lot. How come you're not willing to help the little guy? No. It is not my job to build your career because you're not able to do it yourself. There are people who have the potential and are doing everything they can and just haven't had their break yet because there is luck involved. Luck is always going to be a thing. You can't deny that. And if I see that, I will absolutely give that a shot. But it's rare. It's rare. Do you have a closing date on accepting applications? Yeah, when we hire someone. I need some synthwave Irish music. Is that a thing? I will look that up. I have Asperger's and I've used an animated character for over 2 years on stream before I was comfortable enough to use a real camera now. Good for you. No, I have no problem with people understanding their weaknesses and strengths and understanding what they need to do in order to grow. Different people need help in different places. And if that means using a VTuber situation in order to build your confidence so one day you can actually show up in front of the screen, that's great. I have a problem with people who are like, oh, I'm nervous, so I'm just not going to use a camera. And they handicap themselves because they see a weakness and they think it's permanent. Weaknesses can always be overcome. Weaknesses can become strengths if you recognize where they excel. Like being an introvert. Being an introvert is a weakness in the social media game, but it is a strength in the content creation game. I will gladly sit by myself all day and come up with ideas and try new things and explore my capacities and see what I'm capable of doing. That's a strength. I just have to overcome the social aspect. And I've worked really hard at that for a couple of years, while at the same time applying the strengths of being an introvert. Super important. Guys, I've got a business meeting in 5 minutes. And it's actually about this hiring process. So I got to run. I also have to make a phone call before this guy gets over here. Thank you guys for being here. I know this is a shorter stream. Actually, it's about the same time as normal. But thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you hit the like button before you go. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Wednesday will be my last stream I ever have without a puppy. My mind that is insane. You guys, I hope you guys are pumped to meet Neko on Saturday. We'll see how crazy having a dog is. Maybe I'll have to stream Sunday or Monday with the puppy instead. We'll see. But if you came in, you saw the title, you want to see, there's a link in the description with a link to the position that we're hiring for. So guys, I will see you on Wednesday. I love you guys. Have an awesome week. Peace.